Sometime later, upstairs in the same building, James Albert, born in 1944, sits on the edge of his hospital bed, something he's done many, many times before, but this time he's doing it with no pain. At the moment, his attention is fixed on his knees that always felt achy and sore, knees that bore hideous scars from the countless surgeries and knee replacements. His knees don't hurt, the scars erased. They bend easily, and now when he smiles, he has his teeth back. Not the dentures, but the ones he was born with. He couldn't believe it. He holds a letter in his hand, written to him by the Regendi Corpus. He reaches up to adjust his reading glasses before he realizes he's not wearing them because now he doesn't need them. He excitedly reads the letter. Dear newly resurrected one, we wish you a very warm welcome to this new system of things. Your resurrection is evidence of our sincere gratitude for your faithful service, as was always promised by us, the Regendi Corpus. Your life, complete with the vitality of your younger years, has been restored. There is still so much work to be done, and we need your help in carrying this wondrous load. Before you receive your assignment, please take the small capsule that accompanied this message and report to the lower level, where your guide and program manager and myriads of your spiritual brothers and sisters are waiting to meet you. Kindest regards, Regendi Corpus. James eagerly goes to the sink in the bathroom, shakes the capsule out of the small plastic bag it was in, and swallows it with a handful of water. He washes his hands and dries them, taking another look out the window. He can feel the sun radiating off the window. Outside, gardens are growing, buildings being rebuilt, new roads paved, and other things being restored. It's all over. It was all true, he says with a growing smile. A tear falls on his cheek and runs down his chin. He turns to leave the room as he wipes his face and steps into the hallway. The area is alive with activity. Some newly resurrected sit in hospital rooms like he did. Some sit in large conference areas in lobbies around the facility, learning more about the world that is so different from the one they lived in. Some people are cleaning, others are doing various tasks and activities required to keep a place of this size and purpose operating. He makes his way down to the lower levels and he hears a sound that is different from all the others around him. Sometimes low, sometimes shrill. He follows the sound as it grows louder. Each room he walks by, he expects some reveal that shows a harmless source for the sound, but as it gets closer, the clearer it becomes that somewhere in one of these rooms, someone is wailing. He puts his hand on the door to room 607 and prepares to turn the knob when a voice from behind calls out, "James? Brother Albert?" James is startled, recoiling his hand from the door and turning around quickly. Yes, I'm James Albert." He extended his hand to introduce himself to the man who called his name. The man gives him a firm handshake and says, "So nice to meet you. My name is Michael Kenton, the assignment overseer for this region. Welcome back. There's so much to be done, and I want to show you who you'll be working." James interrupts him. "Yes, I'm ready to get started. This is all so amazing, but I have a son I would love to see. He and his wife got married just before, it's been a long time since I saw them, and I'd really like to let them know that I'm around. I have their names here." Michael puts his hand on James' shoulder, his demeanor slightly less colorful. "No need, brother. I have your son and his wife's info here, along with their 2 children. James is shocked. The news makes him completely forget about what was behind the door in room 607. I'm 2 children? I'm a grandfather?" Michael laughs and reassures James. "I can arrange a time for you all to get together very soon, but I have to get you training for your assignment, and unfortunately, we are already behind schedule, and there's so much to be done. We have a long drive ahead." As they prepare to leave the facility, James notices Don Smith, the lab tech that welcomed him at Resurrection, and they share a quick wave. James and Michael get into the Jeep. The cobalt square of the Regendi Corpus was emblazoned on the side. There was no banter, no radio for the extent of the ride. Only thick, awkward silence and the hiss of tires on a smooth road, a stark contrast to the smoldering, unsettling wreckage of the neighborhood they turned into. Eventually, Michael broke the hours-long silence, his voice as warm as a Maine in February. We just discovered this area. The bodies are gone, but not much else. As you can imagine, he continued, the loss of life was gruesome. The corpus had begun cleanup immediately. We formed into groups for bio cleanup. We called it the RDTDORD. James, preferring to look at Michael than the devastation outside, took the bait. RDTDORD, Michael chuckled. Rightfully dispose of the righteously dispatched. James was taken aback. That's pretty cold. Maybe they just didn't know. Maybe they believed what they believed as much as we believed what we did, you know? Michael slams on the brakes, bringing the Jeep to a howling stop. No, James, nothing about it was cold. The world was being overrun. They didn't care. They wouldn't listen to any of our directions, any of our warnings. They were parasites. They ridiculed us. So no, James, I don't know. It was evident that the entire reason that Michael had been silent this whole trip was he simply couldn't speak without his hatred for the old world when he was out here. It was the only way he could keep his true feelings hidden. Once he finished this outburst, however, the veil returned and a calmness washed over him and his personality entirely changed. He became pleasant, almost bubbly. Your assignment is going to be right here. You're going to be going through these houses, collecting anything of value. I'm going to get more workers for the territory. Just move some crap and take a break if you need, but try to keep it short. It's not like you really need it. There's so much work to be done. Several hours pass, and James has collected a pile of electronics. Phones, computer monitors, televisions, tablets, and the like. He also found a small gold locket with pictures of a man and his wife on one side and their 2 children on the other. James glances out the window in the living room, surprised at how quickly it had gotten dark. He sees some headlights and hears a car's engine shut off. He goes outside to see who it is, assuming that it's Michael. He sees a man get out of a smaller car than the Jeep he arrived in and wave. He recognizes Don Smith, the man who was there when he woke up from his decades-long slumber. Hey, brother, I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names, James says, finally able to shake the hand of the man who brought him back to life. Don chuckles awkwardly. No problem, James. I actually never got around to telling you my name anyway. It's brother son. I'm Don Smith. Don, I got all the things collected here. I thought you would have brought a bigger vehicle to bring some of this stuff back. Some of it's not really that damaged, James says, with all the pride of a new hire, trying to get his boss to tell him he's doing a good job. Don takes over. That's not what I came here for, James. He then continues, I came to talk to you. Can we go for a walk? Don and James walk a trail that snakes around the area. They talk about all manner of things. Don tells him about all the final events of the old world and how they had begun the rebuilding process by repurposing things that they find on missions like this. They speak about the miraculous advancements of the Regendi Corpus as they continue their walk. They find a bench facing a cliff. It wasn't until this point that either man realizes that a faint line of orange can be seen breaching the horizon. Don notices the look of confusion on James' face. Yes, you've been awake for hours, Don explains. After working all day, maybe a couple days, and a long drive to get here, you don't feel very tired. You'll get used to it. At some point, you just stop thinking about it. Dawn continues. But I have a question for you. We've talked about some pretty tense things, and you still have a smile on your face. Why is that? James takes a deep breath, looking at the brightening horizon as the sun begins to peek out. He glances down at the family in the locket. Once I leave here, I get to see my son, his wife, and I get to meet my grandchildren for the first time. And then I'll spend forever with my family. The thin smile begins fading from Dawn's face. The silence creeps in, whispering to Dawn that the time has come for the truth. Brother, I have some news. News you may not like, but I promise this message will end much better than it begins. Dawn says in a more professional tone. You won't be meeting your family today, or ever. There was a conformity issue. James feels the growing lump in his throat, the heat just under his shirt, the beads of cold sweat on his forehead. Conformity issue? He says. Old world emotions begin swirling in his mind, tightening in his chest like a vice. Dawn continues. You see, our instruction has always been clear. Make every meeting. Turn in your field service time, on time, every time. As things in the old system worsened, meeting attendance became non-negotiable, and after he had children, he chose more secular work. Our arrangement is not flexible. I'm sure you understand. Don spoke clearly and matter of fact. He believed that he detested telling James, but there were some that came back that he felt he had to tell, almost a penance of sorts. The revelation staggers James, as if the words carry literal weight. Arrangement? My son chose to take care of his family's needs, and that made him unworthy of life because of a field service report? James is coming undone more and more as he hears the words leave his mouth. He cannot deny this is what has always been laid out, what they always told him. Well, not just the field service reports. His meeting attendance was very low as well, as I mentioned. Don says, genuinely trying to comfort him by qualifying these strange new system terms and conditions. I understand this can be a lot to take in, but the new system was built on unity. We have to have unity in all things. And those who are not unified, those who cannot conform or won't conform, are not capable of existing in this new system of things. It's all information that James has heard his entire life. But here, the horrific simplicity of the execution of the laws of this new system felt unbearable. I don't understand. How can I live forever? How do I live in paradise without my family? Tears fall in heavy streams down James' face as he tries to make sense of this eternal hellscape. James, I don't think anyone really knows what this place is, but it's not paradise. While everything that was prophesied to happen seems to have taken place, things are not the way that they should be. Those of us who never died remember everything. And even with infinity before us, we will never recover. We prayed for this, and we took action to ensure our prayers were heard. We accept this new system because without us, it never would have happened. Our gift is our curse. Don adjusts his position on the bench before continuing. Those resurrected, however, face different challenges. The pill you took yesterday was very important. Without it, you would not have been able to receive everlasting life. But that is only the primary effect, Don. That is only the primary effect. Don stands up. Primary effect? What else did it do to me? James asked. James, while the body can live forever, Don continues, when faced with the more difficult coarse realities, like the news you just received, eternal life could prove very difficult. So this is where I tell you how it gets better. By the time the sun has risen, you won't remember any of it. You won't remember them. You won't remember anything of the old world. No memories of your children growing or wishing you met your grandchildren. The capsule removes it all. You won't even remember this conversation. No more tears over what could have been, maybe what should have been. You'll be able to enjoy the new system of things and serve the Regendi Corpus with your whole heart and with your whole mind and your whole soul. You will thrive here without distraction, as all the former things have passed away. By this time, James is crumbled on the bench, his head in his hands, sobbing, unconsolable, his new world reeling around him. He cannot bear the weight of eternity, not like this. Why was he even resurrected? He feels the heat of the sun as it continues to rise. He takes a deep breath and begins to calm down as he sees the sun get a little higher in the sky. He wipes the tears from his eyes and his sobbing begins to subside. He sits quietly for a second and then he hears the Jeep that he came in pull up. This time it's full of new workers. He stands up and waves at Michael and shows him the things that he found in the neighborhood so far, and the two share a hearty laugh. He introduces himself to the new ones, and shows them what he's been doing. His new life has begun in this new system of things, and the former things, like his son, his daughter-in-law, the two grandchildren that he never met, will never be called to mind. It is a life sentence, everlasting.